a rising tide of hatred and extremism and political violence. It's more important than ever that we come together around the principle of American democracy, regardless of our political backgrounds. We must not succumb to the poisonous politics of difference and division. My fellow Americans, September 11th, 2001, tested our strength, our resolve, and our courage. The billowing smoke and ash that darkened the clear blue sky that September day. The shredded steel and concrete slabs that rained down from the World Trade Center. The plume of fire that shot up in the sky in Pentagon. I remember seeing as I got off the Amtrak train on my way to work in the United States Senate. The pit into the earth in Shanksville, a testament to the unbreakable courage and resolve of the American people. But we'll never forget that when faced with evil and an enemy who sought to tear us apart, we endured. We endured. The soul of America is the fortitude we found in the fear of that terrible September day. The purpose we found in our pain. The light we found in our darkest hour. An hour when terrorists believed they could bring us to our knees, bend our will, break our resolve. But they were wrong. They were dead wrong. In the crucible of 9/11 and the days and months that followed, we saw the stuff America was made of. The terrorists stole 2,977 souls that day. 2,977 souls. Forever altering the future of so many families and the story of our nation. But those terrorists could not touch what no force, no enemy, no day ever could. And that is the soul of America. What's the soul of America? It's the breath, the life, the essence of who we are. The soul is what makes us us. The soul of America is based on a sacred proposition that we're all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. We haven't always lived up to it, but we've never walked away from that proposition either. The soul of America is the fortitude we found in the fear of that terrible September day. The purpose we found in our pain. The light we found in our darkest hour. An hour when terrorists believed they could bring us to our knees, bend our will, break our resolve. But they were wrong. They were dead wrong. In the crucible of 9/11 and the days and months that followed, we saw the stuff America is made of. Firefighters and police officers and other first responders running into an inferno of jet fuel debris at ground zero, breathing in toxins and ash that would damage their own health, but still refusing to stop for months. Civilians and service members of the Pentagon rushing into the fiery breach again and again and again to rescue their colleagues in the Pentagon. The Patriot passengers on Flight 93, think of this, who did not know the horror that awaited them, but they confronted the unimaginable, fear and terror, with absolute courage. It's astonishing. The poet Maya Angelou wrote, "History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived. But if we faced it with courage, we need not live it again." My mother had it put it a different way. My mother was a 5'2" little Irish lady who had a backbone like a ramrod. She used to say, and I mean this sincerely, courage lies in every heart. And the expectation is that one day it will be summoned. On September 11th, it was summoned at 9:57 a.m. It was summoned, and 40 incredible women and men in Shanksville answered the call. Civilians, they gave their lives, and in doing so, they gave life to their country. We saw that courage at ground zero in the Pentagon, and we saw it in so many other ways. These are heroes, like the faith community leaders all across the country who pushed back against the fear and hate they saw directed at Muslim Americans and Middle Eastern Americans and South Asian descent. Heroes like all of you, the brave women and men of the armed forces who never faltered, you never failed to defend our nation, our people, and our values in times of trial. And today, our intelligence community has recently assessed in a declassified memo that al-Qaeda threat from Afghanistan and Pakistan has reached a historic low. So all this has changed over the last 22 years. The resolve of the American people has proved we never bow, we never bend, we never yield. Our longest war is over, but our commitment to preventing another attack on the United States and our people and our allies will never, never rest. Never. Terrorism, including political and ideological violence, is the opposite of all we stand for as a nation. It settles our difference peacefully under a rule of law. We're going to continue to track terrorist threats in all forms, wherever it may be. We're going to continue to disrupt terrorist activity wherever we may find it. And I will never hesitate to do what is necessary to defend the American people, just as I will never forget our sacred duty to those of you who serve. Now, it shouldn't take a national tragedy to remind us of the power of national unity. But that's how we truly honor those we lost on 9/11. By remembering what we can do together, to remember what destroyed, what we repaired, what was threatened, that we fortified, what was attacked, and an indomitable American spirit prevailed over all of it. Ordinary Americans responding to extraordinary and unexpected ways. That's who you are. You are the soul of the nation. That's not hyperbole. To me, that's the central lesson of September 11th. Not that we'll never again falter or face setbacks. It's that for all our flaws and disagreements, there's nothing we cannot accomplish when we defend with our hearts, which make us unique in the world, our democracy. Our democracy. Every generation has to fight to preserve it. That's why the terrorists targeted us in the first place. Our freedom, our openness, our institutions, they failed, but we must remain vigilant. Today, we can look across the country and around the world and see anger and fear in places many of you have been stationed before. A rising tide of hatred and extremism and political violence. It's more important than ever that we come together around the principle of American democracy, regardless of our political backgrounds. We must not succumb to the poisonous politics of difference and division. We must never allow ourselves to be pulled apart by petty manufactured grievances. We must continue to stand united. We all have an obligation, a duty, a responsibility to defend, to preserve, to protect our democracy. And always remember, American democracy depends not on some of us, but on all of us. American democracy depends on the habits of the heart of we the people. The habits of the heart. Oh, God bless you all. May God protect our troops. Thank you.